1:38 o'clock.
Hello, everybody. Let's keep this legal in Australia.
You're listening to a Dare Media Group radio station. Daring Australian Radio Entertainment. Dare Media Group is the home of these online radio stations: Radio X Gold, Radio X Country, 6RXM Radio X Magic, and Dare Talk Radio. Find out more at daremediagroup.com.au.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Guys, the Sportcat Show. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. We encourage everybody that's listening in Australia to come over and jump in the chat so you can ask questions. We've got a couple of people already in the chat. We got Brenda, we got Wendell. Hello. Let's bring out my beautiful sidekick, Miss Harley. Hello. How are you?
Hello.
You okay?
I'm very
that
tired.
was kind of short. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I was expecting more. I don't know. As you know, we have two guests every night. And our first guest tonight, he is an author, and it's an apocalypse story. And he may say he's working on some other books. Immune, Seth Voorhees. Let me bring him out. That is what we are here to talk about. Hello, Seth. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing good.
I liked your intro music when I was waiting there, and I was like, I need to write stories to that music, get you pumping.
Yeah, that's the kind of music that gets me going, the high energy. So,
Hello, Wendell.
You're up in South Dakota right now. It's got to be a little chillier than here in Atlanta. So,
yeah, it's a little chilly. It's getting there. Hasn't snowed yet, thankfully, but it's getting there. You can tell.
Snow here Monday.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's going to make it to the far south. We'll see in the mountains. It won't make it to Atlanta, but. So, while you're snowed in, it'll give you plenty of time to write, though.
Absolutely. I love snow days, especially for my job. I'm like, oh, yeah, come on, snow day. Come on. Like, give me an excuse to write all day long and, drink hot chocolate and just sit and be lazy with my laptop. That's the best excuse ever.
Absolutely. How long does it take you to put out a book? I mean, on snow days.
On a snow day, I can pop out a few chapters. Usually I try to have a writing goal of 1,000 words a day, sometimes 2,000, just depending on what's going on, anything like that. But, it takes about a year or so to write a book. I mean, if you do 2,000 words a day, you get, after about 6 months, you have about 70, 80,000 word novel. I think for me, the longest time is just editing. So for me, I edit my book 3 times. I have the first draft. I write that obviously more free, willy-nilly, and don't really care what's going on. And then the next 3 edits, it's more the polishing and the cleaning. I'll take about a month off between each edit too. And then I give that to my editor after the 3rd pass, and then she'll usually tear it up, tell me more what's wrong and what I didn't see. That's usually why I stop after 3, because there's a certain point where you just don't see your own work anymore, if that makes sense.
What's your relationship with your editor? I hear some people, it's like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I love my editor. She does really good work. There's always kind of a love-hate just because, yeah, they're trying to polish it up and make it as clean as possible. But once in a while, they'll maybe take out something like a description that you thought was really cool and needed. And it's like, no, let's keep it in there. But if they're really helpful, they'll be honest with you and blunt and be like, this sentence doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, what are you trying to get at here? I don't understand. Or, she'll be ruthless, but that's what you need. But no, we have a good relationship.
They come at you with a red pen.
Oh yeah, red pen everywhere. Well, yeah, now it's on computers, so now it's the red ink highlighter. Now it's no longer pen.
Well, how long did it take you to write Immune? This is the first of a series, or is this in the middle of a series?
It's the first book. I don't know if it's going to be a series yet. I've left it open to becoming a series. So I wrote it. It was about a year. Right now, it's on its second edition. The first edition came out horrible timing because it's an apocalyptic book about a virus that takes over the world, and it came out December of 2019, right when COVID hit. So perfect timing, right? So it was with a different publisher at the time, and then eventually I got the rights back. And it got back to me, and I just republished it, the second edition. I went through it all over again. I republished it back in July. So this is the second edition. So there's a little changes, little adjustments, but it took about a year to write.
Did COVID change it any, by the way?
No, if anything, it was creepy. I feel like I predicted COVID because there were aspects in the book that actually were kind of taking place with COVID. And I was like, what the heck? Because in Immune, I have the story where if you're A positive blood type, you're immune from the virus, which is my blood type, by the way. That's how I came up with that. No big revelations. I just took from my life, my perspective. Because I always had this thought of what would it be like? What would it feel like if you were totally immune to a virus, but yet had to watch everyone else suffer and go through the hell? How would that feel in your life? And so that's kind of what started it. And then also I was watching The Walking Dead as well. And I was like, you know what? I should add some zombies into it. But I wanted to make it different than a normal zombie book. Because, this was back when Fear of the Walking Dead just came out. Walking Dead was at its height. So I was like, everyone's doing zombie stuff. So I want to do something different. And what I eventually came up with was, I don't think anybody's written about people coming out of the zombie phase and remembering what they did and what happened. And that's where Immune goes. So there's two classes. There's Immune, so those who are not affected. And then the Inflicted is what I eventually call them. So they're the ones who come out of the virus, the zombie phase, and they start repopulating and basically reconstructing the government and the country. And so there's just a lot of class switching and rivalries that go back and forth with the two. But yeah, COVID definitely, there was a weird part. I think I was watching CNN and they had actually mentioned that. They're like, oh yeah, COVID, you may not get it if you're a certain blood type. Research is still going on. And I'm like, well, that's creepy. It's like, well, hopefully no zombies.
It's funny because all my kids and my husband, every time there's some virus in the house going around, they all get sick, but I never get sick.
I wish that was my case. Yeah, usually the daughter gets sick first, then it's my partner, and then it's me. I'm always the last one. I'm usually the one who has to watch everyone suffer, and then I'm like, all right, my turn's coming.
I wish I would get sick at times because then I could stay in bed all day and not have to take care of him.
Yeah, I don't get sick very often, but when I do, I do for sure.
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old little germ breeder that runs around here every day. So,
yeah, she's 7, so yeah, that's a good age for sicknesses.
Yeah. You talking about the virus? When I worked at the fire department, right when it started, and they were almost to the point in public safety terrified of this. I mean, you would have thought it was a zombie apocalypse. They were like, okay, if you touch a person that's infected, you've got to be decontaminated. You got to do this. Like, what? Sure. And that didn't last long because after they had to shut down stations because of all this, they're like, okay, hold on. If you have a fever,
yeah. I was a supervisor at a residential at the time. We were considered, the staff that you couldn't essential. What was it? Essential. So we were essential staff. So I still went to work every single day. And yeah, we had 3 units and every once in a while, all the units would go in quarantine. I'm sure I've had it like 3 or 4 times.
Wendell, I never smoked cigarettes a day in my life. And I was not affected by the virus at all. No one in my house caught it. Nothing. Like COVID completely skipped us, and my best friend kept having it several times. Her house kept getting it, and
we had. I was actually wrestling with a guy in the middle of the night that was high, fevered at 104, and well, he might have had some mental illnesses. And we were actually wrestling in the road trying to get him in the ambulance, and he was like patient 0 for our city. Didn't get it.
No. Chris said he's extremely over that word.
Yeah.
And very illogical. So he's decided to blame you for exclusively for COVID.
Right. That's all right. No worries.
They'll come get you. Well, wait a minute. We should ask, like The Simpsons, do you prognosticate anything else?
Hey,
I haven't
it's funny.
yet.
The Simpsons did
They predict
say
everything.
COVID was coming beforehand too.
They're time travelers. So
I'm amazed they still can have shows. That's like, because they've been on the air forever.
This
Yeah.
is like their 37th
37 years,
season
right?
right now.
I know. I was looking that up. I'm like 37. Like I'm 40. So that means they started when I was like 3 years old. I'm like,
Yeah, I just
geez
turned
Louise.
40 and I've been watching Simpsons my whole life and still watch them with my kids.
Yeah.
But
I
my
remember
kids
the
are
first
older.
episode,
Don't
yeah.
think wrong of me. My youngest is turning 14 at the end of the month.
Ah, no worries.
You're so old.
But I think I think I actually let them watch it when they were little, but
I can't say anything when
to the point when they stopped Homer choking Bart for that little bit of period, they noticed it and they were like,
yeah.
Homer's not choking Bart. What's going on? And then we watched an episode the other day and they were like, oh, he's choking Bart again.
Yeah. Well, we had South Park when I was younger, so I can't say anything.
Exactly.
When I think I was like 15 or maybe 16, I don't remember, but when the movie came out, remember South Park, Bigger, Longer,
Yeah.
Uncut?
And it's still on air. South
and we
Park
conned
is
my
still
mother
on
into
there.
going and seeing it, and we were still, I mean, we weren't too young, but we were still young enough where we should
And
have
this newest
been in there.
season of South Park is just
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. It's been years since I've seen the South Park episode.
it's hilarious and
I had
raunchy.
Ren and Stimpy.
Really raunchy.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy. I remember that when I was a kid. And Rocco's Modern Life, too.
Oh my
Those
god,
were,
I loved Rocco's
Yeah.
Modern Life. That was when cartoons were good.
Yeah.
Now
There's still episodes where you're like, man, I can't believe they got away with that.
Yeah, exactly. What were your influences to writing? You said The Walking Dead, obviously, but
Well, it started when I was younger. I think like most people, Goosebumps, R.L. Stein, the Goosebump books were really big.
classics right
Oh
there.
yeah, I read those obsessively. I even like had in my mind at the time like I should write books just like him, and I wrote like a list of, I don't even remember how many it was, like maybe 50, 60 titles. I didn't write them, I just wrote the titles down. Like, so that even kick-started my imagination just going from there. My first actual story I actually wrote was, I think I was 18. Yeah, I was 18. It was my senior year of high school, and I wrote a novel. And it was, by then I was reading a lot of Stephen King. You know, it kind of goes from R.L. Stein, and then as you get older, Stephen King. And I don't remember how long it was. It was probably like 80,000 words, something like that. But yeah, that was my first real crack at it. In fact, actually, when I wrote Immune, I had forgotten about that story, and I was sitting there going, I wonder if I could get something out of that. And I had to find, for those of you who don't understand what I'm about to say, a flash drive or a floppy disk. I had to find my floppy disk.
People that watch us on this network know what a floppy disk is.
Yeah, I had to get the floppy disk, put it on the flash drive. Yeah, I had to do all that fun, and then I finally looked at the story, and I'm like, this is really bad. But I was 18. I didn't know what I was doing. It's amazing how much you have to relearn. Because I didn't write for the longest time. I eventually went to college and got into a few academics circles and a few other avenues with sociology, psychology. Eventually became my degrees, and I went there. And then so I took a break from writing, and then I think I was 30 when I picked it back up. So it's amazing how much I had to relearn, like I said, because I forgot. I read that story, and there was just so much, like one sentence was third person, then the other one's first person, then there's 3-person perspective and 2-person's perspective in the next one, and it was just like, oh, this is terrible. But,
yeah, I sent my chapter off to a friend, and she messaged me back and said, "Do you know what quotation marks are?"
right?
Oh.
Hey, I liked your few chapters.
It was all right. So with this, you said, well, reading the blurb about it here, the bio, what do they call that? What's the technical word for the plot, the summary?
The summary, I think. Yeah, usually. Description. I'd say description.
The main character, he finds himself immune, but somehow he ends up in the wrong camp.
Yeah. So in the story, basically, so this is kind of how it goes. So yeah, the main character's name is Wyatt, and yep, he's immune, and he's kind of helping his family and friends kind of just navigate the area, basically the country, and just kind of keeping himself safe. And he eventually winds up in an internment camp run by the Inflicted. So at this point of the story, they're out of the zombie phase, and they just call themselves the Inflicted. And yes, I realize it should be Infected, but I wanted Inflicted just because I was like, it's fiction. Let's come up with some weird creative name. But anyway, and yeah, so then when they go there, I don't want to give up too much because then the world changes after that. But one of the characters actually, her name is Helen Olsen. She's the director of the camp, and she's a secondary character who at first was just had like a little part, but as you read the book, she totally took over the story. And yeah, she had a much bigger role to play, and I love it. So she's part of the Inflicted, and she eventually becomes the director of the organization that kind of replaces the CIA, and so she helps fight the immune. But here's the thing with her that I found really, and this is why I kind of love this story, is that so her partner Tamara is immune as well. So while she's working for the Inflicted, she's spending half the story hiding Tamara from the Inflicted. In the beginning of the story, while she was a zombie, Tamara was doing the same thing, hiding her from all the immune so they didn't kill her. So there was a lot of back and forth of their relationship having to be kept in the dark, but being loyal to each other while yet having to be on the opposing sides. And yeah, the story just kind of took off with her. And that's where I said where I left it open. If I do ever do a sequel, I think Helen will be the main character, and I'd like to pick it up from there. I just haven't done it because I don't want to write a story just to write a story. I just haven't had a good idea yet. So I'm like, I'm not going to wait until inspiration comes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is this in what timeline is it in? Is it present day or?
It was present. I mean, it was 2019 at the time when I wrote it. So it's probably around that time frame. Well, it was probably closer to 2017, really.
Okay. So it
was that time. Yeah. Modern.
Okay. All right. Well, I was making sure you didn't move it back in time. So,
I didn't want to do that much research about history. I was like, no, let's just keep it in the modern present.
That's true. Yeah. What takes place in all of America, or is it worldwide?
It starts originally, from Wyatt's perspective. Turner's another character in another book I've been working on all day, so that's why I said Turner. Wyatt, he's in South Dakota is where his story starts, and then it navigates into Iowa, and then eventually does become worldwide. They eventually wind up in Australia, Wyatt and his family. So,
we'll see. We've got
Australia actually is in the book. Australia becomes kind of the main burrow where all the Inflicted send all the immune, and it becomes kind of like all the immune's home in the whole world.
Awesome. Well, we're live on Dare Talk Radio in Australia, so there you go. Pimp it.
Yeah.
So have you ever been to Australia by chance?
I have not. I had a coworker though who went to school there, and she would always tell me about Australia. So I haven't been yet. I'd like to go. I'd like to see it. It'd be great.
I'm told everything there will kill you.
I've been told that too. But I figure, if you get the right person next to you, they'll be all right. Yeah. I have heard that though.
Yeah. Well, we've got a great audience in Australia. So hopefully hearing this, they will, can they get your books on Amazon there in Australia?
Yep. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on really online, any bookstore like Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, any online bookstore really. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I know, I don't know how it is with selling it, but sometimes you can't sell in certain areas or something. So I don't understand.
As far as I know, it's worldwide. Yep. It went through. So these second editions, all my books, except for one, are on second editions, and I had to republish them all, and they're all through Ingram Sparks Publishing, and Ingram's the main distributor, and it's worldwide. So yeah, you should.
Good. Well, hopefully we will help you there. So, and with, so you're not doing that, but you're working on other projects though. You kind of let the little cat out of the bag a little bit there.
I am. Well, I have two projects I'm working on right now. One is in the editorial process. That one's called Cottonwood Prestige. That one is about a man named Eugene, and he has to go back home to a town in Michigan to help his father, whose health is not doing good, and also lives with his grandfather. And they're all members of this organization called the Albatross, which started as first a school fraternity, but eventually turned into this powerful organization that basically runs the whole county and the area, just, all of the higher ups in every department and everything. And eventually what happens while he's there is all these murders start taking place, mysterious murders, all Albatross members. And so I don't want to give too much away, but he gets kind of sucked in So that's what that story's about. So that's through the editorial process, like I said. And then, yeah, I have another one I'm still working on. I'm on like, I think my 3rd draft now. And this one is more tied into the mental health field because I worked residential for a long time, and mental health in general. I still work with youth, and that's always been the population, 10 to 19. And I had to get out of the residential field for a little bit. I'm still working with youth. It's just as an educator now for Lutheran Social Services. And I had a little secondary trauma that's why I left the residential area and the setting. But I always had people say, you need to write about the field. You need to write about it. And I was like, well, I don't know. And eventually I came up with a good story. So it's based on a character named Turner he suffers some tragedies. I don't want to get into it because I'll take away stuff from the story, but he suffers some tragedies and he leaves the city he's in to a new town where the whole town is built around the residential center there. Like everyone who works there works or lives in the town, works at the place, and eventually find out that the whole point of the building, the whole point of the whole town is to serve a benevolent creature there. And he feeds off their emotions, especially trauma. And so he basically helped build it just so he could feed off of the youth. But it's a big book. It's about 400,000 words right now. And so it's a big novel because I pretty much encompassed everything I did because it's him. And then I have 8 youth in it, 8 adolescents, and I go through their backstories too and how it all ties in. So I basically have taken everything I know from experience and just put it into this one big story. But it's taken a while because, it's 400,000 words is a lot of editing.
Wendell said his middle name is Eugene and his dad passed away in Michigan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, see, maybe I do have some.
Well,
I need to go get a Powerball ticket apparently and go figure out. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss though. That's tough.
What is some of your inspiration besides for your job for these stories?
A lot of times it can be anything really. Obviously I read a lot. So sometimes that'll give me inspiration, like anyone does, they watch movies or videos or anything. But a lot of times, sometimes I'll just be maybe driving my car and I see something or I hear something on the news and I'm like, oh, that's, I should write about that. And for me, it always starts with the scene. I'm not an outliner or a big plotter. I might take notes here and there and be like, so that way I don't forget someone or a character or some detail. But for the most part, I write by the seat of my pants. So I'll just see something. I'll be like, that'd be cool to write about. And I'll just start a scene. And then that scene will build off onto another scene. And usually I know it's a good idea if in between the time my writing sessions, an idea will come to me. That's when you're bored doing the dishes or you're at the gym or, those boring monotonous times in life is when the next part of the story comes to you. So if that doesn't happen, then I know it wasn't worth writing about. But yeah, anything can really inspire me. Immune was really several inspirations rolled into one. Because like I said, I told you about thinking about the virus and like how if you were immune, that was based off swine flu. I had that idea way back then. And so I just kind of tied it in. And then the zombie part later. And then the CIA part was because I was reading a book called The Legacy of Ashes, and it's about the history of the CIA. I was reading that at the time, and then I was like, oh, I should incorporate that somehow. Yeah, so I guess the answer is everything. Just depends on the mood and the day, really.
Well, and some people say their characters guide them along the way. Do you find that to be true?
Mm-hmm. I do, actually, a lot of times. Yeah, it's very much, like I said, I write 1,000 words or so, and I'll kind of get going and I'm like, okay, I'll stop here. And then, what happens next? And then a thought will come to me. And the characters usually will drive it. Not all the time. Maybe once in a while if I have just maybe a thought or an angle I want to go, that might lead me. But very character driven, usually.
That's good. No, and I think that makes it more interesting because they're not just a part of you. They have their own persona. So
yeah, and I try to add a little bit, of me in every character as well.
Sure. So, with you having the background in, I almost said photography, psychology, Did that, aside from the one that you're writing that is more based on that, did that help you, or do you think it may have hindered you some?
For Immune, I don't think it hindered me at all. For the one I'm currently working on, like I said, the bigger book, maybe a little bit with that, because I was just like, all right, if I'm going to write about these theories and these things, I want to make sure I get it right. I want to make sure the information is correct. So I had to do a little more research just to make sure I was on the right track with some things.
And you said everybody encouraged you to write a book about your field. Paramedic, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell them, look, dude, there's like 200 of them out there,
Yeah. And I think for me, the reason why I wrote it so big is just like, okay, I'm going to do this one time and I'm never going to do it again. Like, I'm going to write, like everyone's been saying, write about the field, write about your experience, write what you know. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do it one time. We're going to incorporate it all. And then I'm done. I'm going to move on to other stories because I enjoy writing things that I don't know. I mean, that's the one thing about fiction. I mean, I love it. All my other books have nothing. I don't know anything about aliens or dystopian, but I want to write about it. I have to do research.
Well, hey, there's a comment out right now that they may be coming. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Wendell says he'll give you an idea. He was hit by a taxi in Atlanta when he was about 3 or 4. He is just full of good news tonight. Good Lord.
Yeah, I can write about it. I could find something. You never know. There's always a good twist.
Yeah. If you got a character named Wendell, just have him get hit by a taxi for fun. We love her. We love our chat. So
I love creative names too, and I'm not really good with names either. So if people are always like, "How do you get the names of your character?" I just Google unique names for boys, and then I just go through the whole list of 100 and be like, "This name sounds good."
I did that for mine. Like period. I was like, okay, they'd probably be born about what's common or popular names during that. Yeah, right. I did the same thing.
Yeah, the only one for sure I think was Wyatt in Immune, just because I loved Wyatt Earp. Yeah. And I was like, if I ever write a book, I want the name Wyatt in there. So that's how that one came.
He'll be your hero. So
that's right.
All right. Well, and Immune, is he the hero or is the other character? I've done lost my thought on it.
I mean, Wyatt's more the hero. Well, Helen is a hero in a sense too. She's kind of both the hero at times, but then also a villain. So it's kind of both. Yeah, really. I have some other characters in there where, they start off. Mitch is another character. He starts off as a hero. He was a coworker of Wyatt, and his path goes down a whole new area, and he eventually winds up being a member of a terrorist group that tries to take down the inflicted.
Wow. Yeah. You did go in depth with this. So I look at the cover of your book. Did you do the cover or did you have someone else do it for you?
Well, it depends which cover you're looking at. I know on Amazon, the updated one's not on there, but if you go to Barnes and Noble, it's a different one. I had a friend help me out. They kind of know little things with book covers.
Okay.
The newer one is it's red and blood on it with a hand coming up. Is that the one? Okay. I know Amazon hasn't updated the cover yet. So at the last I checked, but if it did, then great. Yes. Awesome.
You get frustrated with Amazon?
No, just it takes a while to get the covers updated sometimes. But I have a friend who helped with that.
Wendell says, I have more things that happened. I should not be here now. Okay. Maybe you need to consult with him to get some stories, or maybe give him some mental health help. I don't know which he needs. How much time a day do you spend to writing? Are you dedicated? Like, I'm going to spend an hour, or is it just kind of like you said?
Usually for me, because I do have 2 other jobs. I work, like I said, for Lutheran Social Services. So that's full time, 40 hours a week. Yep. And then I also do maintenance work at the building as well. And that has to be separate from the 40 hours. So generally it's more about just trying to get as much writing done as I can. Sometimes, usually what I do, I wake up at between 4 or 5 in the morning and I'll write as much as I can before I go to work. And then luckily my job is real flexible. So there's times where I can kind of pick my schedule. Like maybe one day I don't have to go until 9. Then the next day, maybe I'll go in at 8:30. So it just kind of depends on what's going on. But basically my big goal is just to write every day, no matter what. And then the word count, that fluctuates here and there, depending on what's going on.
And just free flow and then go back and edit it later. The first
usually, free flow. Yep. Yeah. The first draft's always free flow. Just let it go. Let your mind just race and have fun. And,
Yeah.
which can also be a drawback too, because then you get into the first editing part and you read it and you go, what the heck was I doing? Because I always feel like between each draft you're writing and editing, you should take like a 30-day break in between just to kind of clear your head. And yeah, there's times where I'm like, I bet when I was writing that, I was on just a high of brilliance thinking this is a great sentence or paragraph I wrote. And then you go to edit it a month later and you're like, what the heck was I doing? That made no sense. What am I doing?
I do that when I send text messages late at night and don't remember sending them.
Yeah, I do that too.
I think we're all guilty of that. Chris says Wendell can sell his life story like Kramer did to Mr. Peterman on Seinfeld.
Nice.
That was a great show.
Seinfeld. Yeah, Seinfeld.
You sound like you like some of the classics there.
Seinfeld. I no one knows. Well, people do remember, I'm sure. But do you remember Mad About You?
Yes.
With Paul. That's my old favorite.
I just went and rewatched it, and then I didn't realize they came back with the second season of it, and I was like, oh, they did. That's amazing. And I was like, they had a daughter in it and everything. I was like,
yeah, I think they picked it up. I don't remember where they picked it up from, but yeah, I watched. Yeah, I loved Mad About You. That was one of my older ones, like Seinfeld, Mad About You. I still binge watch.
Dharma and Greg.
Loves Raymond.
That was my
Yeah, Everybody Loves Raymond. I binge watch that. Friends. I still have Friends on.
Me too. Like, see, I go back and watch shows like Ugly Betty and stuff like that. Jane the Virgin. Those are on my repeat shows. And my husband's always like, "Why do you go back and rewatch it?" I was like, "It's an autism thing."
And a nostalgia thing too. Sometimes it's.
I was like, they're my comfort shows.
Yep.
I was gonna say it's like a comfort food. Yeah.
My daughter, she made me laugh because I found on Disney Plus. Do you remember dinosaurs, like the old one in the 90s with the giant puppets? Not the mama. Yes. And I'm sitting there watching. And I'm like, do you want to see what I watched when I was a kid? And I showed her, and of course, without 30 seconds, she's like, "This is so stupid," and just watched. She's like, "So dumb." I'm like, "Well, it's what we watched when I was a kid, man." And Doug and all that. Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome, Rosanna. Yeah. Well, the technology has changed too, and with
cartoons are not the same at all. None of it's the same. So, Seth, what or who? Like, I know you said that you like Goosebumps and that, but what person actually inspired you? Like, do you have a family member or something that was like on your side to keep you going to do your writing?
I mean, my mom's always been obviously very supportive and just be happy, do what you need to do. She's always done really well with that. Always encouraging my dreams. She, actually probably helped out quite a bit, just also too from the perspective of being a little more brave and learning to talk to more people. I remember actually my first day of college, when they have the whole just meet and greet, where you have to, and there's all the organizations. She said, "I want you to join too." I'm like, "Okay." And I went and I didn't find anything. And I came home and she goes, "Did you join any?" And I go, "No." And she goes, "Get your butt back over there." Like, "Don't you dare come back." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, she definitely supported my writing. And, my partner now, Rosanna, she supports me as well and encourages me.
That's good. Is that Rosanna in the chat there?
That probably was, actually. I didn't quite get a look. I'm sure it was.
So what is a piece of advice that you would give any up and coming authors?
Well, there's a few things. I think first off, and I know it's a cliche in a sense, but it's true. Read a lot and write a lot. That's what you got to do. You think of, for me anyway, I think of my imagination as like your body. For your body to take care of it, we exercise and we eat healthy. For your imagination, reading and writing, that's your nutrition, that's your exercise. So do that a lot. And then also to understand there's a difference between writing popular tropes versus ripping someone off, an author. And the reason I say that is because, obviously I write dark fiction. I love the genre. And obviously Stephen King is an excellent example of, he's on the Mount Rushmore of who made this genre popular, right? Like he's on that Mount Rushmore. But I find it so interesting. There's this like group of people that just seem to think, the genre started with him. Like there was no one who wrote any horror, no one who wrote any dark fiction before him, and all of the tropes he wrote about and made popular were invented by him, and he owns the right to them. And they are so quick to be like, "Oh, you can't have a haunted hotel in your story, because if you'd have that, you're ripping Stephen King off. You know, you can't have a story about aliens taking over human beings, or you're ripping Stephen." And it's like, okay, no, those are tropes. There's a difference between writing about something that's popular, something versus ripping him off. And I think as authors, especially in my genre, people worry about that a lot. Like, you know, what's the difference? How do I know if I'm inspired by this trope versus ripping them off? If that makes sense. Like just, you know, just don't worry about that, because a lot of people fear that. I mean, like, you know, go into a bookstore, go into the mystery section and tell me how many books are about, oh, so-and-so's best friend died and the police aren't doing good enough work, so they try to solve the crime. I mean, that's in, you know, yeah. So that'd be my biggest advice.
Most dark romance, because I'm a big dark romance reader, they're all the same. The guy kidnaps the girl, wears the mask. They're all about the same, pretty much the same, just different characters, different masks, different scenarios, but they're all about the same.
Yeah. So hopefully that advice made sense.
I think I think that did, because Robert Kirkman, he has had a lot of people say that he ripped off the original. What was the original zombie movie? I just drew a total blank. But of course, now he's taking it way further than that. But he's pretty defensive about that too. So
well, I don't blame him. Well, I know, like with Salem's Lot, you know, I know people have said, well, he was the first one to write about vampires in the town. I'm like, nuh-uh. Have you read I Am Legend? Like, that was the first original. I'm pretty sure he was the first one to do it, because that's about vampires. It wasn't about zombies. The movie changed it. But yeah, that book was awesome about vampires.
Well, I mean, if you even go back before that, there's like Anne Rice. She did vampires. So vampires are always they're popular, so they're in everything.
Yeah, so I always find that funny, because I'm like, no, he made the genre popular. He didn't invent it. Like Mary Shelley, you could say, is the one who invented it. I mean, she, you know, wrote Frankenstein. She was 19. I mean, she should be on the Mount Rushmore as well, too, because she made it popular.
It's a classic, still a classic. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you ever think about you'll make it to the big screen one day, or?
You know, I'm always torn. I mean, that'd be a great dream. That'd be a great goal to have it on the big screen and just see my name on it and say, you know, based on the book by Seth Voorhees. Yeah, that'd be a great dream to always have. And I don't know if I want to get too popular or famous, though, either. I kind of like what I think it was Ben Affleck said. He goes, when people ask me, what's it like to be rich and famous? He goes, just settle for rich. Because sometimes fame isn't what you want. But yeah, definitely that's always a dream, to want to have your name on a book, of course, or the movie, of course.
Yeah,
and I already know who would play my characters in me. And by the way, I already know.
Let's see. Okay, you want to spill the tea, or
spill the tea? Sure. I think Wyatt Hugh Jackman would be a great one.
Oh,
and then for Helen, I thought Emily Blunt. She would be awesome. I mean, because she's such a great actress.
Yeah,
she does everything.
Okay. One of my friends, his book is making it to the big screen, and
nice.
They picked him up. He lives in Boston, and they took him to Hollywood, and for a week they catered to him, drove him around and everything, and he'd come back home, and his wife was like, all right, so while you were gone, a pipe burst in the neighbors, it flooded the basement, did this, and he's like, why did I leave?
Yeah.
He had everything, and then when he come home, everything was, he had to get remodeled. He had to do work in the basement. And then his car, he was driving, and somebody lost a brick or something off a dump truck and blew out his radiator. He was like, I should have never went. That's a sign.
Right.
He said, yeah, that spoiled you. He says, what do you want to eat? What do you like to eat? And he said, I don't know.
Yeah. That's great.
I'm like you. I would rather be able to make my own choices than have to have somebody come.
For sure.
Oh, what do you want for breakfast? What do you want for dinner? I don't know. I'll find something in the refrigerator. Leave me alone. Go away.
Depends on the day. Jeez.
Well, do you have any other genres that you are interested in and have thought about dipping your toe in the water with?
Westerns. I've always kind of thought about dipping my toe into that. There's a few times I've written a few small short stories here and there about that time period. Fiction, nothing. It's nonfiction is what I mean. I haven't done that, but yeah, definitely that whole genre itself. I don't read a lot of the fiction. I read a lot of the nonfiction, especially about, like I had mentioned earlier, Wyatt Earp and, Dodge City and that whole time period. And I read a lot. If I do read nonfiction, it's usually always Westerns and that history. So yeah, definitely that. Cool. I haven't figured it out yet, though. Just haven't been inspired yet.
That genre is so unique. And you could actually even do something like time travel or have the zombies go back. I mean, there's so many things you could do. So yeah, but that time period is unique. I saw something today about the what's the guy's name who was the American Rifleman, the lead character in it. Today was his birthday, and I didn't know that he was the first. He was with the Boston Celtics, the first player to shatter a backboard. He played baseball for the Cubs and the Dodgers, and then he went to acting.
There you go. Lord. That's quite the range, yeah.
He's an overachiever.
Yeah. Now, my one book, Midglow, that is on its second draft too. It was originally published through Amazon, and then the second draft, or the second edition, just came out this summer. That one is kind of more close to that history I told you about. So that book is about bank robbers. It's around the time of Pearl Harbor, and they eventually discover that all the banks they're robbing, the money was owned by the same person. And so they eventually get caught, and the person who owns the money, his name is Dr. Dracoon, who's a European gentleman. He basically extorts them and says, you can either work for me or you can all go to prison, which, pick your poison. And of course they decide to work for him. So they wind up working for him in a hotel in the South. And it's odd because he's a European gentleman. World War II is just broken out. And so there's just all these mysteries about who he is and what he's doing, his research, and they have to do small tasks for him, and eventually it's weird tasks like grave robbing and things like that. So eventually you figure out the mystery of why he's there in the United States and why he fled Europe. It has nothing to do with the Nazis, because I know everyone's going to think that, but that was a twist I put in there on purpose. I'm like, everyone's going to assume the Nazis. It's not. But anyway, so that's the closest I've come to being or incorporating history into my stories.
Okay. Well, alternate history, I guess.
Yeah,
that's a genre in itself. So, one thing we always like to ask our guests, if you've ever had any type of paranormal experience, seen a Bigfoot.
Oh no, yeah, I got plenty of that. So, our house, actually, the house I grew up in Spearfish, was actually first it was before it was a house, it was actually a hospital. I don't know what the technical term is, but it's just for giving birth and labor. Like I don't know the technical term, but it was just for that.
Labor and delivery.
Yeah, just labor and delivery. And then eventually it was converted into a house. Well, anyway, that house was haunted, actually. And there's 3 cool stories I want to share with you. One was, I believe it was the previous owner, and my mom told me this story, but when she was just reading a book at night, she was just hanging out reading, and she looks up, and the ghost is a female. And she looks up, and the ghost is just pointing down the hallway and is looking down towards her bedroom. And she told us this, and she was like, this is the creepiest thing. So she got up, she walked down the hall, she goes to her bedroom. The lamp had caught the curtain on fire.
Oh, wow.
And so the fire, her whole curtain was going up in flames, and the ghost saved her. And so she's like, it's a friendly ghost, so don't worry. And then, so the next encounter was my sister. I don't remember how old he was. She must have been like 2nd grade, 3rd grade. And I just remember hearing a scream in the middle of the night. Like, not like I'm in danger scream, just like startled scream, And we asked her the next morning, like, why did you scream? What was going on? She goes, oh, the ghost lady was brushing her hair, and it just scared me. Because she had a big vanity, and those big round mirrors, they're like in a circular shape. She had one of those in the bench, and the ghost was just sitting there on the bench brushing her hair. And then my only incidents was, there were times where I would be home alone by myself, and I'd go upstairs to my room, and then I'd come down and the radio would be on, and there's no one in the house. And I'm just like, okay, I guess she wants to listen to the radio. So those are our house. So that was our house. And then the other instance I used to have is, I told you I worked in residential, and there was one place that was called Wellfleet. They had an older building. When I quit working there, we moved into a newer one. But in the old building, there was a room where several youth swore up and down that there were times they could hear someone crying. And it used to be a nursing home. So we're kind of wondering if it was like, in fact, I remember one patient, she came out of her room with her mattress and she was dragging it into the group area. And I'm like, are you okay? What's going on? She goes, I don't care. Give me restriction. Someone's crying, I swear, and I can't deal with it. I'm sleeping out here. Go ahead, put me on restriction. I'm like, no, you go ahead. Do you? Yeah. So those are my paranormal stories that I hang on to.
Well, I mean, most facilities, any type of medical facilities, got some kind of haunt because of the trauma that goes on in people's lives. So
yeah, I actually got a book once on South Dakota hauntings, and I'm not going to give the title or anything like that, but I was really disappointed because they didn't have the Bullock Hotel in there. Because the Bullock Hotel in Deadwood is famous for being haunted by Seth Bullock, the sheriff. In fact, it was on Unsolved Mysteries, the old one with Robert Stack. Remember him?
Yes,
that old one. There was actually an episode there was an episode talking about that. Like, that's how popular it was. So I was like, how do you not put that story in the book? Like, that's, come on, man. It's like, oh, you dropped the ball.
Well, does this stuff freak you out, or do you kind of just say it's just part of reality?
Yes and no. I want to say, it's part of reality, so it does freak me out. I kind of enjoy it, but I kind of love it. It's weird how, I can read a book and it doesn't freak me out too often, but then I'll watch a movie and it freaks me out completely. And so I don't know what the tie-in is between, but yeah, it's like I like it and I love it. But yeah, I think it's just part of existence, part of reality. I don't try to solve anything. I just kind of go, well, obviously there's evidence and things going on. One author actually whose books I would say gives me the chills the most is Jennifer McMahon. Have you ever read? She has some books like The Night Sister and The Winter People and The Invited. Oh, her books are excellent. She's one of my favorite authors right now. Like, she's the one where I'm not reading reviews. If someone says, oh, her next book's out, I'm buying it. I don't care. Like, I'm buying it. Yeah, her books are excellent. So shout out to her. Little plug-in.
I'm not a horror fan. I like science fiction, alternate history, that type of thing.
Okay.
And of course,
well, I'm the horror fan.
You're the horror fan. Well, The Interim is the straight horror book for out of my 4. And then Question 17 is more of the science fiction dystopian novel. So
awesome. Yeah. Wendell says he has a picture in his house. I guess he took the picture and he could smell a ghost cooking. That's
Brenda. Glenn is scared.
Yeah. No, I grew up in a haunted house. I just don't want any part of it. So I have horror stories that can make you, So no, not interested in it at all.
Yeah, that's like my stepsister's house.
So, but and I intentionally, and especially as a paramedic, there's certain things. If I didn't have to go see it, I'm out. Right. I'm in service. I'm leaving. But then there's some people that they want to just get into all that stuff, and I'm like, if I don't have to, I don't want to. So. I think that's also what twisted me to not like the horror genre and stuff. So
see, I would have been the one going head first to see all the horrific and
be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. I don't know if I'd dive in right away. Now, I'll admit, when I was younger, me and a friend, his name was Paul, when we were, I don't remember, like middle school, maybe not middle, but 4th, 5th grade, kind of in that time frame. We loved to go to the video store. Remember, you could rent video stores. I know some people are not familiar with that anymore, but we'd go to the video store and we'd rent 10 or 6 horror movies. And this was back when you just went up to the counter and they go, do you have your parents' permission for these? And you go, oh yeah. And they're like, okay. And and obviously we shouldn't have been buying them. They were all rated R. But yeah, we would stay up all night and just drink Mountain Dew and watch horror movies all night long, which did not thrill our parents. They did not appreciate that one iota. That was another influence.
Because if your parents gave you the curse, I hope you have a child just like you one day. You might, your daughter may be doing that.
Oh, she already kind of likes it. Yeah, like it's Halloween. She was like, we should turn our house into a haunted house. I'm like, all right. Yeah. Well, when you have the last name Voorhees, you kind of have to be a horror author too, because Jason Voorhees. So.
My mother cursed me with that whole, I hope your daughter's just like you. Well, my daughter's just like me, if not worse at times, but
it's the worst parental curse, I think. It's generational.
Hey, I cursed her. She was a twin, but
true.
She ate her twin.
What?
Yeah, she absorbed her twin. So I tell her she ate her twin.
Yeah,
And
my
so I tell her, I hope I curse you with 2
Oh my God.
that are twins that act just like you.
Yeah, I got a kick out of one day. My mom tells me, she goes, "Your sister called," and I just had to laugh. And I go, "Why is that?" Because she has 3 boys, so I have 3 nephews, and they're all at that teenager age. And I guess my sister, and she was kind of rough when she was a teenager. But anyway, she called my mom and just goes, "Mom, I am so sorry. I am just so sorry for my adolescence and for my. I just apologize." And Mom just laughed and she goes, "Yeah, fun, ain't it?" But I like adolescents. That's part of why I enjoyed working with them. Have been for so many years, because they are kind of a challenge, but there's a lot of good to the challenge though too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have 3 teenage boys. So yeah.
Yeah,
well, I have
they make you work for their love and respect, that's for sure.
I have a 13 and 14-year-old, then but they're about to be 14 and 15 at the end of the month. And then a 18-year-old who turns 19 in December. And then my daughter's about to be 22.
Good Lord. Yeah. Are we like 52?
No, I'm 40.
Well, Seth, before we let you get out of here, I want to make sure, especially to our Australian audience, we let you get a good plug in as to where they can find you. And occasionally, it's not often, but sometimes people want to get in contact with you, maybe get an autographed copy or something like that. How you can do that?
I mean, I do have a TikTok what am I trying to say? Social media platform. I do have a TikTok page. I did just start an Instagram one. I was kind of told I needed to start one, so I did. I do have an Instagram one, so you can find me on there. Just things like Seth Voorhees or Seth Author is them. I do have my webpage, SethTVoorhees.com. It's all one word, so you can find me there as well. And I do have a Facebook author page as well, so you can just write me, message me on there. So
okay, and everything's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So.
Yep, all online bookstores. At least they should. And if you can't find them online, then send me a message and I'll guide you to it as well. I did hire someone just now actually to work on my webpage, and it'd be a little more convenient with that stuff as well. So
don't you hate the fact that you have to have all these social media profiles now?
Oh yeah, it's tons. It's kind of a necessary evil in a sense. Yeah.
Mrs. Sportcat is always like, "Why aren't you on TikTok?" I hate it.
I'm not in love with it. I get frustrated with it sometimes because I'll try. A lot of times I'll get sucked in. I'll be like, okay, I just want to do 2 or 3 posts, and then I wind up scrolling. And then it's 45 minutes. I'm like, oh, I haven't even done a post yet. Oh crap!
Yep.
Now I do a post.
Yep. Exactly.
I can't stand though. The things that frustrate me the most is when I don't know what the obsession is with showing a music clip, or not a movie clip, and then narrating it like it's a documentary. Like they'll show Jaws and the opening scene. It's like the woman jumps into the water and she's unsuspecting, knows about what to happen. And it's like, okay, we've all seen Jaws. Why are we narrating this? We know what's going to happen. Come on now. She's going to get bit by a shark.
Yeah.
Don't need to narrate Shawshank Redemption. It's on TV every day. Like we've all seen it 100 times.
I'm trying to figure out why I paid so much money multiple times to go see the origin of Spider-Man. We got it the first time.
Yeah, got it. It's all right. Yeah.
When's your next book? Well, it's in the editing. When do you think your next one will be out?
I'm hoping in the summer. I feel like the summertime will be around there. So I'm hoping. If sooner, better. But yeah, hopefully summer.
Sure.
Okay, so with you having young nephews, what's your opinion on the whole 6-7 thing?
Let them be them. Because here's my thing. Every generation has their own little inside thing. Here's the deal. I'm a millennial. You know what? When we think about 6-7 being like, oh, this is the weirdest thing, I look back and go, you know what? My mom thought the same thing after Beavis and Butthead episodes, and we went, oh, my cornholio. I need TV for my bungholio. Like, come on. It was the same thing. Or Seth Green, what is it? My bum is on the chair. My bum is on the chair. Remember that song? And we would all run around going, my bum is on the chair. Like, we had our own weirdness too. So just let them do their thing. Let them be them. You know,
It's funny when they're trying to explain to me it at work, and I'm like, just looking at them all with the glazed over face, and I'm like,
mhm,
you lost me.
You've officially gotten old.
no worries. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, they'll keep you in your place. They had to tell me about lit and fire and all that stuff too. I was like, all right,
You
yeah.
know, they walk around and they're like 6'7", 6'7",
Yeah.
and I'm like,
yeah. Though the youth I worked with, I have to give them credit because they're the reason I have the goatee. Because I, in bald, and because I was losing my hair, and they're like, "Well, you should grow a beard." I'm like, "Okay, I will." And so I grew the beard, and then one day they're also like, "Should you shave your beard too and be bald without the beard?" I'm like, "I don't know. Should I try it?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I shaved it all off. I walk into the unit, and one of the youth just goes, I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Please don't. Can I just be honest and not get in trouble?" And I go, "Yeah, go ahead." She goes, "You look like a toe. You need to grow your beard back." I'm like, all right, cool. Some of the youth have kept me in my place many times, and I appreciate it. They're very honest. Yeah, youth are great. I love it.
All right. Well, when your next book comes out, you've got to promise to come over and
Oh, absolutely.
visit with us. So, Seth, the hour went by really quick. I appreciate you for coming on and giving us
exactly, Chris.
I appreciate you too. Appreciate you having me.
Oh, anytime.
Oh, Beavis was funny. I agree.
Yes, yes. I still laugh at that. I'm silly. But have a great night, Seth, and hopefully we will talk to you soon, maybe by summertime.
Hopefully. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And I want to make sure everybody knows in Australia that they can get your stuff, and please get your stuff. So,
Yeah.
All right. Have a great night, Seth.
You as well. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was good, Harley. That was good.
Okay. Yeah. I told you I was tired tonight.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's okay, because our second guest, we always have two guests, and we've had him on before. And when I saw he wanted to come back, I'm like, this is like having an old friend back. So I don't even know if I need to give Bjorn any introduction. He's my Viking hero. Hello there.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what happened the last time I was supposed to be on. I completely missed it.
It happens. It happens. I don't get my feelings hurt unless then you ghost me.
No. I felt terrible. That's the
first.
first time I missed a show, and I love this one. I felt pretty bad, but I'm glad y'all had me back. Thank you very much.
Like I told you, you are to the point where it's like you're an old friend, and I welcome having you around. So, plus, I learn something new every time about Viking history and heritage. So I love that.
Oh yeah. I'm a veritable pool of useless knowledge.
Me too. So our chat's even excited to see you back. Chris is excited. He's glad to see you. So, well,
Awesome.
Since we last talked, have you gotten any more work done for your next novel?
Oh yeah. Since we last talked, book 6 came out, so that's Rune of Spirits.
Mm-hmm.
This is well in past Mariel, the main protagonist. This is past her main focus, and then now we're into the supporting characters, and this one focuses on a character named Josephine, and she is very, very dark, very anti-hero. It's a little bit of a departure from previous tones, I guess you could say.
Okay.
She's raised in New York during the Civil War era, so this is the 1860s, and it goes into her background under her father, Alistair, who's a Scottish immigrant who created his own criminal empire in New York City, and New York City is heavily corrupt. And this part is based in historical fact. It was heavily corrupt, and from the police to the politicians to the gangs to the companies that ran the city. So it created a very tumultuous, violent era for her to grow up in, and created the very dark character she is. But in the end, after this book and the next book is focused on her as well, she does serve a purpose that, as it's stated in some of the marketing literature, the path to an ultimate good is often paved by the monstrous acts by a monster, and that's the role that she plays, and she does it very well.
Wow. How much of it is you had to go back and do research, real that you kind of twisted?
Oh yeah, I definitely use some artistic license on some of it, but the general backdrop is real. I mean, if you read the book, you see how gritty, violent, and corrupt, and just generally awful in a way that New York City was, and that was all true. There was a heavy anti-war sentiment. This is the backdrop of the American Civil War, and everyone assumes if it's north of the Mason-Dixon, they were for the war, and if they're south of Mason-Dixon, they were for the war on the other side. But that is not reality.
Nope.
One thing I love to do in my books, because they are heavily based on history, is I like to kind of drag out those little unknown facts about history that people either don't know or misunderstand, and I kind of find a way to weave them in, and that was one of them, was the crazy, chaotic atmosphere that New York was at the time, and that was the backdrop she was raised in.
I can only imagine. We're headed that way now, so
yeah, it can be argued not a lot's changed.
Exactly. How far across America do you think Vikings have been?
Ooh, that's a good one. In my opinion, a lot of people will disagree or agree or disagree with this. The Kensington runestone, I think, is absolutely legitimate, and I think now this isn't Vikings. This is post-Viking era, but it's still the Norse, the Scandinavians pre-Columbus, and this would be in the 1200s. They made it as far as Minnesota, and science won't admit that happened. They don't believe, they don't want to admit the runestone is real, but there is conceivably a path through the Hudson Bay in Canada, through the Great Lakes and the river systems that could have led them to Minnesota. So it's possible. Now, whether, there's no scientific proof other than this runestone, which some people claim is a fake, that says they did make it that far, but I believe they did. They were in Greenland for 500 years, and they were known as some of the greatest explorers in history. So what makes it so impossible that they didn't make it into the interior of North America? I believe they did. I just don't think we found overwhelming conclusive evidence yet, but I think they have.
That's the thing. Science is, they don't want to admit it until there's just no way around it.
Right. It's almost, instead of just saying, well, it's possible, but we don't have the proof, it's until I have proof it didn't happen, and that's sad that we don't use our supposition, our human gut feeling, to help fill in some blanks until we have the facts, but we don't do that, as the scientific method doesn't allow for that. I'll put it that way.
Wendell says he agrees, and he thinks they were on Fort Mountain, I guess that is, in Georgia. So
yeah, there's some speculation that they made it as far as South Carolina, where I'm at, which is it's certainly possible. It's a hell of a feat if they did, but it is possible.
Yeah. While we're talking about it, we'll go to current events. Have you followed any of this 3-Eye Atlas stuff?
You have to fill me in on that. What is that?
Well, it's the third interstellar comet to ever enter.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, yep.
It's coming in at an odd angle. It's turned on its lights. It's changed color. It's had forward propellant. It's had side propellant. It's just done some weird.
Remember, this happened before. I can't pronounce the name, but the one named after, it's a Hawaiian name. The one that came, I think, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it was the same speculation then. It doesn't follow the laws of nature, or what we believe is the laws of nature about how interstellar bodies should travel. And I think that says a lot. Now,
we don't know anything.
But me, myself, and I believe in extraterrestrial civilizations. I mean, if you look at it, since now I heard you speaking with Seth earlier. I'm a Gen Xer. I'm an old guy. So when I was coming up, we didn't have proof of any planets past our planetary system. Our 9 planets. Yes, I said 9. I believe Pluto is still a planet. I'm a Gen Xer. It's a planet. But past that, we had no real proof that there were other planets. We didn't know if we were an anomaly. We were the only ones that had planet. We didn't know. But in the 90s, all of a sudden, we started finding physical, actual evidence that there are other planets outside of our planetary system. And I think at last count, this is something I kind of follow. Up until the last count, it was, I'm wanting to say 40,000 planets we think we found. Or maybe I'm overstating it. It's in the thousands, way in the thousands. And we find more all the time.
Yeah.
And taking that into account, where that's undeniable proof, we know that's true. We know there's no argument there. So why is it so unbelievable that there's other life or even other intelligent life? You know, it just seems to baffle me that people still die hard until I see an alien land on the front yard. I don't believe they exist. You know, I think that's very narrow-minded. That's my opinion, but that's my opinion. Yeah. So the idea that maybe some of these extrastellar bodies that are flying through or they don't act normally are ships. Why can't they be? You know, maybe they are, and maybe someone on our planet knows that, and we don't know. We're not telling us. So
and that's one of the things that I think because NASA is conveniently, you know, they've like lost film and footage and all these space agencies, not even the ones that were shut down, like Japanese, German, China. Oh, nothing to see here. So,
yeah, it is rather odd. And the quality of the photos. Now, granted, I understand they're coming from millions and millions of miles away wirelessly. I get that. But we still get these fantastic photos of a Martian sunset that's crystal clear. But we can't get up close on any object laying on the ground.
It's amazing, isn't it? Right. Well, one of the scariest theories I heard on it is that it is a ship and that all life has passed away on it, and it's now basically being driven by AI, and it's still completing its mission. And I think that's scarier than knowing there's little green men on it, because what was their mission?
It outlasted them, and who knows what's going to happen now. Yeah, that's a very real, distinct possibility.
Yeah,
I would like to believe. I would like to believe they're bringing a new kind of chocolate. That would be nice, but I mean, it's hard to say.
Yeah. It'll be addictive. It'll be the new meth.
Oh no, don't say that. That would be terrible. Interstellar drug dealers have come.
There's a story arc for you, right?
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure someone's done it. I poke around. I'm sure someone's done it.
I'm sure.
There's probably a movie being made right now.
Well, if we keep blowing stuff up, I'm sure there will be. I miss Miami Vice. I'm sorry. I miss Miami Vice.
Tubbs and Crockett. Yeah, that was some good programming back then.
Yes, it was. Can't do that today. So, so what number book is this in your series?
Oh, this will be number 6. Yep. 7.
I have all of them in my library already before.
Nice. Have you
coming onto the show? I'm on book 2.
Good Lord.
Oh, you're getting into the nitty gritty now. We've gotten past some of the background. Now we're getting into the real battle.
Yeah, you're way past me.
I read a lot when I'm at home.
Yeah, Mariel's quite a character. She was fun to write. She's very, very interesting, and it doesn't stop with her. As you go on in the series, you find more and more interesting characters, and some of them get even more complex and strange than her. So it's fun. It's a fun series to read.
On my iPhone, it has a setting where you could have it read to you, because a lot of people can't actually see the books.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll click that setting and have it read the book to me while I'm at work.
Oh yeah, I actually use it for the writing. My drive to work, my real job, not my fun job, but my real job is about 30 minutes one way. So I'll if I'm writing one, I'll put it as a Word file on my phone, and it'll read out loud, off the Word file, and I'll sit there and I'll proofread my own books driving to and from work. So that it's kind of a tool that makes it easy, makes it fill in that time that I could be doing book stuff.
One of the guests we had introduced me to, was it Notebook LM on Google? Have you are
I
you
think I've
familiar
heard
with
of
it?
it, but I've never messed with it. I'm not sure
You
what it is.
basically put your book in, and you can put like your own library, and it becomes AI of only what you put in. And like, let's say you're writing about a character from book one, but you forgot, and you're like, oh, okay, did Bob die in this? And you just ask it like you would ask AI, and it's like, oh yeah, Bob died then. And it's like, that is weird but cool at the same time.
I've experienced not writing. I still do my own writing. I refuse to use AI for actual writing, but I have used AI recently. You know, I'm a critic of AI, so I figure, well, it's hard to be a critic if I haven't actually messed with it. So I started trying to evaluate my manuscripts with it, just to get its input. Like, you know, where are the weaknesses? Where are the strengths? Does this work? Is it flow right? You know, and it's weird because on one hand, it's creepily accurate, and on the other hand, it's way out in left field. It's like there's no consistency. And I finally came to the conclusion it's a computer. The nuances, especially in my books, there's a lot of subtlety and nuance, and it takes a human to understand that. So where there may be a weakness, it overlooks it and says, oh, it's great, or vice versa, where there might be a really good subtle strength, it doesn't recognize it, says your story's broken, you know. So AI is not there yet.
No.
And I haven't tried using it to write because I refuse to. I don't think that's what it's for. It should be a tool to enhance creativity, not to replace creativity. I'm not sure it'll ever be able to be honest. I don't think it'll ever be able to replace a human.
I don't think so. No.
You know, that's my take on it, but I've been wrong about a lot of things. So maybe that's one of them. I don't know.
As we get older, we learn. Well, one of the cool things about that is you can tell it to make an audio file, and you can say, tell me what you think is good about this or whatever. And it sounds like a conversation between two people when you play it back. It's in like it is creepily weird, but as I put in the first time, just goofing off, I put in like the football schedule for my college team. And I was like, okay, what can you come up with this? Holy crap. It came up with for the season, a whole bunch of stuff, like 15 minutes.
But like, didn't AI predict who was going to win Big Brother?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Did it? Oh, okay.
And the person they predicted actually won.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, we well, that's a TV show we cover seasonally. And at the beginning of it, I actually used AI. I was like, I put in all their inputs from CBS into AI. And I'm like, okay, who's going to win this? It was right. I should have went to Vegas with it.
Yeah, that's something to consider. What's it going to do for gambling, the gambling industry? Mm-hmm. I'm not a gambler myself.
And Audible's been doing a lot of, not like they used to do it where they hired people to read the books for their series, like Audibles. Now they're doing AI read, and I don't really like, because I'm a big Audible fan. I'm not a big fan of the AI read ones because you could tell it's a computer, and it's not the same as having someone else that's human read the book, because they have the emotions that's needed there.
Exactly. And that's what I was about to say.
Especially with the books that I listen to, they have the emotions that's needed. And when it's AI, it's just a long drawn out thing, and they mispronounce words, they mispronounce stuff, and it's just it's all bad.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because I get criticized all the time. None of my books are in an audio format yet, but that's the reason. Now I can hire a voice actor, which is, like you said, that's the way to go if you're going. In my opinion, that's the way to go if you're going to do it, because it's real. But the cost is ridiculous, and I'm not ready to expend that yet. So what I did do is I tried. Amazon has a beta program where you can create your online ebook, your ebook version, into an audio file. And I did that with the first two books, Runes of the Doctor's Daughter and Runes of Renewal. But I had to do a lot of well, it's partly my fault, because as you guys know, if you're reading the books, the names I use are Old Norse, so obviously AI has no idea how to pronounce those. So I got to go back and respell them phonetically so that it does the right pronunciation. But But where it failed, it did decent. I mean, the voice sounded pretty decent, but where it failed was exactly what you just said. There's a lot of inflections in my writings, and probably most people's writings. You know, when you italicize a word, that means you need to give it more weight than the rest of the words around it, or maybe the sarcasm. You know, I write a lot of there's a lot of witty sarcasm in the books, but the AI doesn't know that. So it, you know, where it says, you know, get off my ass, you know, get off my ass, it'll say, get off my ass. You know, it's like,
And it's
happy.
funny. I listen to a lot of dark romance, okay? So having this AI read this dark romance,
I can imagine.
I just had a bad image.
I had to stop listening to the book because it wasn't like it was all happy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not how dark romance is supposed to be. It's not supposed to
Yeah.
be like that. And they like when they say the words for the dark romance, it's all happy, and I'm like, how can you say that happily?
Right. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's exactly the reason I never published those two. I still have them. They're still out. They're still in my my little account there, but I haven't published them for that reason. Until it gets better, I don't want to do that.
Well, that's why
It just takes away too much.
That's why whenever I get an Audible book and it says it's AI generated read, I won't even listen to it now.
Yeah. Hopefully one day it'll get better.
And
But
then I'll go to
know.
customer service and request a refund for my credit. And I'll explain to them that they need to stop doing this AI generated reading because it's not the same.
Yeah. They always come back with the same thing, though. It's a learning mechanism. It'll get better as it goes. But I don't think
Then I tell them, you know what? Here's some positive some feedback for you. It's crap. Stop doing it. I was like,
I can't say I disagree.
I tell them I read dark romance, and you can't tell the person to do this and not have the emotion behind that AI doesn't have.
You know, now that you mention it, I might have to listen to one of the dark romance AI read just for the chuckle factor, because I have a feeling it's probably more entertaining.
Like, dark romance needs that emotion behind it, and AI doesn't have that. And they're like, okay, I can't exactly say what some of the stuff is, but like, because it's pretty raunchy, but like,
you're blushing, Harley.
Yes. Well, the guy, like when the guy tells the girl to do something pretty raunchy, and it's all happy, and I'm like,
and it's like he's ordering a cappuccino.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so you're sitting here happily telling her to do this horrific stuff, and I'm like,
oh, now I'm gonna have to listen to this.
You're thinking about it too, aren't you, Glenn? You're going to do this, aren't you?
Yes. Unfortunately, I probably did. Oh, there's probably a whole fetish of people that like that type of thing.
I mean, I like dark romance, but I don't like the dark romance AI read to me because it's bad. It's really bad, and it doesn't have the emotion that's needed for an author to have the book read. I mean, if they're gonna pay that money, they should have someone professionally, a human, not
AI. We're definitely still at human standard at this point. Will it get better? I don't know. I don't
see it ever getting better with the AI read, because they still don't have that emotion that's needed for reading any book, because AI doesn't know when, like, exclamation points and all that, when you got to put the emotion behind it.
Oh yeah, I know in mine several times, like the blurt will be what, you know, like what, like that, and it always goes what every time. No matter what punctuation you use, it does the same thing. So
that's why I'm saying, like, with your books, it needs not AI, because you have a lot of emotion in your book, and
Hmm.
your characters have a lot of feelings, and they go through different scenarios, and they're they have different personalities. They need to
Hmm.
be have that expressed by a human who knows, oh, okay, this character is saying what, and it's supposed to be with emotion, not what.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a computer. That's all it boils down to. Hopefully, they're not driving a
Have
interstellar
you talked
drug dealer here,
to
but
Cam Buckner from Dixie Cryptid about reading your books?
Well, I would assume that that's towards you, Born Cam Buckner. I have no idea who that is, but
I'm
apparently
not sure.
it's a recommendation from Wendell. So there you go.
Have to check that out.
Yeah, well, remind me, and I'll shoot it to you in a message. So, but well, yeah, and I like what you were saying earlier. AI is a tool, and can we improve the tool? Yes, but can you make it have the emotion, the empathy, any of that? And if we could, do we want it to? That's the next question.
Probably
Right.
not.
Yeah.
It's what I mean. We claim that humans are sentient beings. You know, some people claim we're the only sentient being on the planet. Uh, the creativity is the greatest part of that. So if we have machines that can just replicate that, we have become virtually
Useless.
useless. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
I
not
mean,
just
like,
a
in
sense of
all honesty,
self-preservation.
this is just me being cynical and quite a okay, I'm gonna say it, being a bitch right now. Some people are already pretty useless, so why would you want to make them even more useless?
Yeah,
Because I deal with quite useless people on a daily basis. Why would you want to bring something to make them even more useless?
we're in a way we're trying. It's almost as though, again, I'm sure a lot of people say I'm being an ass about it, but I mean, what it's almost like we're systemizing thoughtlessness. That's what we're going to, and it's depressing and scary all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean,
I guess my
some
holdout is
teenagers,
computers won't be able to ever accomplish human quality. So maybe that's the saving grace. I don't know.
some teenagers can't use logical thoughts without AI or computers or phones, or they can't even function as functioning people without something telling them what to do.
Hmm.
That's
What are they going to do when it's not
mechanical.
there? Because there's that possibility. I mean, we could be in a dystopian world one day where poof, it's gone.
Do they even teach long division anymore? I know when I was in
You
school,
know,
that
they
was
took cursive out of schools,
Yes.
and
they took cursive's gone. It's now a dead language,
Yeah.
pretty much.
so like when I tell my 18-year-old son to sign your name, and he writes his name, I'm
Hmm.
like,
Yeah.
that's not signing. What are you doing? Sign
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
asked
used to
my
have
daughter
print
to
and
write a
sign.
check
Yeah.
once. I asked my daughter to write a check once because I was
Chris,
out
I'm
of
not
town.
talking about you.
And she goes, how do you write a check, Dad? I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. We
Like,
had
all
whole
right,
classes to do that in economics or whatever. We had to learn
And
how
the
to write
worst
checks and
part
someone
balance a
gets
is
this
checkbook.
one.
they don't know how to count change back
Well,
without the register telling them how much change to give. And I'm like, you don't know how to.
It's just, someone's taking offense.
yeah, it's Chris. We love him. But yeah, I mean, we are taking away. Well, talking about cursive, how many important documents just in American history are written in cursive? So
Well, we just
Like
feed
my
it
kids
AI and
can't
they'll put it in
even
print.
read cursive, and I'm like my daughter, she's 21. She could read cursive because they were still teaching cursive when she was in school.
yeah,
My
Wonder was great.
18-year-old son, eh, eh, kind of, but not well enough because that's when they started not teaching it. My younger two, who are about to be 14 and 15, not a lick of being able to read it, write it, nothing. And I'm like, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to buy some cursive books that teaches you how to write cursive, and you are going to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's right. Nobody under 30 can read a map. That's
Right.
probably-
Everyone's got
Honestly,
GPS
I
that does
think
it.
no one under 40 could read a map because
Mhm.
I'm 40 and I I wasn't really taught to read a map, but I was raised by disabled elderly people who didn't need to use maps.
Well, using a map, and it depends on how you want to use it too.
Ooh, there's a
You
little
could
mouse.
do something to the point of terrain and topography and following the stars. Okay, that's getting a little carried away. I can tell you north,
Yeah.
south, east, and west, and I can tell you there's a big hill right there. But other than that, yeah,
I mean, you can see where I-40 goes and Route 13,
Exactly.
so that's
I
the
mean, I
important
could do
part.
that, but anything other than that, nah.
yeah.
I know we used to go visit the family in Wisconsin. My mom's family's from Charleston, and my dad's family was from a tiny little place called Makana, Wisconsin. And we would go every summer to go visit the Northerners, I called them. We go visit the Northerners. And that was the big thing. He would lay out he'd go to Walmart or wherever and buy the latest Atlas map. I think Atlas was the brand name, but it was a map, a road map. And he had to get the newest one because it's printed, so it could be wrong now, So he'd go get it, lay it out on the kitchen table, had his coffee pot. It was an event, He was using the protractor or whatever the hell he was using, a ruler, measure it because it gives you the scale. Okay, this is 10 miles. So you had to do all that. It was like geometry, trigonometry, algebra. It was all that combined to plot this 900-mile trip from Charleston to Makana, Wisconsin. And I remember watching him. I didn't really learn the detail he did it in, but I can use a map. But I mean, he had it down to a science. He knew when the gas stations stops need to be, gas mile. He did the whole 9 yards. It was pretty impressive. But yeah, that's something that no one does anymore. We got GPS now. It tells you, your car tells you how much gas you got left, how many miles you got left on your gas, and GPS tells you where to stop to get it. So
we were told on the ambulance when GPS first came out, because we used to have to map our territory, hand draw maps and stuff when your fire departments first do. And when GPS first came out, the fire department prohibited us from using it. They were like, what if it makes a mistake? Like, well, hell, how many times have I looked at a map and go, it's 3:00 in the morning?
It just blew out the window. Turn around.
Yeah. And Chris, I don't think that getting rid of the pennies is dumbing down people because they already couldn't count change anyways. They're getting rid of pennies because it costs 5 cents to make 1 penny.
That is correct.
And pennies are becoming like, well, not just pennies. The dollars and the cash, cash in general is becoming null and void because not many people carry cash. They either use cards or the stupid tap thing. What happens when you can't get into your phone and you are trying to use tap? Like, do you know how many people have sat at my window at work trying to open their phone and unlock their phone and unlock their card and then no, it's young kids. And then they got to transfer money from one card to another.
Yeah. The whole penny thing is funny. I mean, I agree. It costs more to make it, but they're making it out. It's like major breaking headline news now. There are no more pennies. What are we going to do?
Yeah, we're making it into a catastrophe. I mean, we used to have half pennies. We did away with half pennies. The world didn't collapse. We just don't have half pennies anymore.
We still make $2 bills though. So
now the bad part will be everybody will round their prices up to the next nickel. So you're going to spend more for everything. But it is what it is. I mean,
exactly. Yeah, it's I agree. And like I was saying, they still make $2 bills. So.
Oh, I still try to get those when I can. I just think they look cool.
A friend of mine, he goes to the bank and he buys, or I guess it's buy him. He gets some like by the bundle, and whenever we're traveling or he's traveling, he tips in them.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That and the little, they're not real gold, but the little dollar gold coins that they have now. I think it started with a Saskatchewan coin. I used to use those to tip just because it was something different,
Well, you know where I'm located, there's a lot of Polish people. That's where I live.
Mhm.
And my son is obsessed with Poland. Like he wants to move to Poland when he gets
My wife's
older.
Polish.
And I've gotten like 4 Polish coins for him because they come in and they don't realize they're not really useful here.
Mhm.
I mean, they are, but they're not. And
Right.
so they give it to me as a tip. And so I keep it for my son. I've gotten a Dominica Republic coin yesterday, and I've gotten him like 4 or 5 Polish coins, and he just keeps them. He's like, I'm gonna save these for when I move to Poland. I was like, good luck there, buddy. Good
That's
luck
right.
there. Have fun.
Yeah,
I
when we
was
were
like,
flight
it's not gonna
medic,
be cheap. Have fun.
when we were flight medic and had to fly all over. God, that was such a pain in the ass converting money. Because some countries using a credit card is you're taking your life in your own hands. So
I know years ago, I think it was 2004, the wife and I and a bunch of friends, we all went to England to visit friends we have in England. And ironically, this was right after the subway bombings in 2004. So there was all kinds of panic around that. And of course, everybody was saying, well, how are we going to get around? I said, get on the subway. I said, the terrorists want us to hide in a hole. So I'm getting on the subway.
Yep.
And we did. We rode on the subways, but that's beside the point. But when we went over, I exchanged, American money here for the British pound to pound sterling, and went over there, spent it, and all that. Now, when I left to go to England, the dollar was $1 to the pound, so they were even. It was $1 equals £1. When we came back, it was $1 or £1 equals 75 cents. It dropped 25 cents, the difference in the exchange rate. I said, well, hell, if I exchange it back now, I just lost money. So I kept them. I just let them sit around. And then 10, 15 years later, our friend over in England got married. So I just put it in an envelope, sent it to him. So there you go. So apparently the dollar's never going to recover back to the pound. And it hasn't. The pound is still worth more than the dollar.
no. Don't even get me going on was it the Rael, all the ones in the Middle East. Good Lord. I got tipped a $500 bill I think it was in Kuwaiti money or something.
Mm-hmm.
And now the government doesn't exist. So
Right.
It's like,
So it's like Monopoly money now.
Yeah. It's like, but like you were saying, if I had converted it, it would have been like $20 or something. It was unbelievable. I was like, just hang on to it. Now they
at least
don't
it wasn't
exist.
the Zimbabwe dollar. Were there hyper interest or hyper runaway influence? I'll get it right in a minute. They
go ahead.
Yeah, it was what's it like $100 million note is like $15 or something like that in our money because of their inflation. There you go, inflation.
Yeah, it used to amaze me when we bring passengers from the Middle East over here, they would have rolls of money because of the conversion rate. So I was like, I don't like you. I really don't like you. So now you're mayor. But anyhow, well, let's get back to your topic a little bit here. So how many more books do you have in mind, and do you have any other niches or wishes you'd like to dip your toe into?
Oh man, it's spinning out of control, Glenn. It's spinning out of control. Definitely be 7 in this series. I have an 8th written, but after I wrote it and after the editor went through it and after we talked, I don't think it's the direction I want to go. So this is the first time I've had to do this. I've had to restructure a little bit book 6 that's the one that just came out. I had to restructure that one just a little bit to make it what I wanted. But 8, I have 2 competing thoughts in my head how I want to make the last book of the series. So I'm sure I will eventually finish it. But right now, 7 is the foreseeable end, and maybe 8 will come after. But I've already gone into spinoffs. So Josephine, the character in book 6, she is so compelling to me, and I had so much fun writing her character that I started writing spinoff books about her. And I already have one finished, polished, and ready to go. I just got to decide when I want to strategically start releasing that. And I'm mostly finished with the second spinoff for Josephine. And these are crime dramas almost let me rephrase this. Okay, the first spinoff is entirely a crime drama. There's no supernatural element. Mariel's destiny is not part of this story. This is strictly about Josephine being Josephine and Civil War era New York doing horrible criminal things. The second one has a lot of supernatural undertones to it, but it's still the same thing. It's a gritty street gangs and corrupt politicians and all that New York, setting. I did do something very interesting recently. I wrote a novella. It's a 31,000 word long short story. It's a Western, which is unusual for me. I don't normally do straight genre, but it's very complicated for being so small. It's 3 or 4 stories in one, and it's a short story. So it's actually pretty impressive how well it came together. But I'm not publishing that traditionally. I made it into my own audiobook that will be released through YouTube. So I used a couple of computer programs, and yes, it is AI voice. It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. It's kind of in between. But I wanted to offer it for free just for people to enjoy. I had no intentions of making money on it. I just really liked it. I thought it'd be awesome. It's something different for me. It's a little more cussing and a little more vulgarity in this one. I don't typically go into that real heavy with my stories, but this one's Arizona Territory, 1883. So it's very, very rough setting, the American frontier in the 1800s. So
check that out.
Yeah, and I'll send you guys a link to it. It'll be released in parts. It's 8 parts, 20 minutes each section. 20 minutes of reading for each one. That way, it's kind of on the way to work. You can listen to a section, and then a week later, the next section will be out, and on and on. The idea being just to kind of get my work out there a little bit without depending on sales to do it. This would be free, so it'd just be whoever wants to read it can read it, and give you an idea of kind of my structure and my prose and all that. But it turned out to be good. It's about a character named Captain Alice. She was a very rough, tough frontiers woman, but she has a hell of a background story that unveils throughout the story. It goes into her background that made her this tough, rough person that she is. She served in the Confederate Army disguised as a man. She was wounded, and they discovered her gender. She got thrown out, and then she has some deeper, darker secrets in her past that lead her to be this force of nature that she is. She's very crass, very rude, but it's all defensive mechanisms from the trauma that she's experienced. So it's kind of a psychological thriller, gritty Western, and there is even geopolitical themes to it about the Irish versus the British at the time, because the Irish were still trying to get independence from Britain. So it's a busy story for being so short, but it came out pretty freaking awesome, I thought. So I wanted to share it as an audiobook. But yeah, I'll be putting that out pretty soon. It'll start December 5th. The first part will be December 5th, and then each week section will come out for 8 parts. So
please, I'll actually be traveling during that time, so please
give me something to listen to. Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it. It's very interesting. It's not your typical Western.
Because I might be traveling about that time.
There you go. Yeah, I like little short things like that. So,
and I'm sure in this one, of course, it'll become a spinoff. It'll become a series too, because at the end she becomes Marshall Barnesby. So now you'll have Captain Barnesby, then Marshall Barnesby. So it'll end up being a series too, I'm pretty sure.
At some point, you're going to have to make money off this now.
Oh, yeah. Well, the main series is still for sale.
Gotcha.
The main books.
Fair enough. Well, have you thought about writing some, because you do a lot of research. Have you thought about writing some, I don't want to call it historical, but some nonfiction stuff? I mean, you do a lot of research, and I'm impressed with your research. So have you thought about that?
Well, oddly, I haven't committed to doing this yet, but I have an ancestor, a great grandfather that wrote a book about hollow earth theory. You ever heard of hollow earth theory?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is in the 1850s. He wrote this book about hollow earth. He was a believer in the hollow earth theory. He's a very eclectic, eccentric individual. But I have the book. I have one of the original copies that was printed back then, and I've been through it a few times. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece of writing, but it brings up interesting points. I don't necessarily believe the hollow earth theory myself, but it hasn't truly been refuted yet. I mean, in my opinion, it hasn't scientifically, dead nuts. It doesn't exist. So even in his time, he mentions that we've never penetrated the crust past a certain point. Well, come all the way up till now, we still have never drilled more than 7 miles. That's as far as we've ever drilled in the earth, and the Russians did that. They got down to 7 miles before the drill broke, and that's as far as they got. So the idea that the mantle, the upper crust is the crust, and then there's like a shallow mantle, and then another crust, and then there's a hollow space inside, has never been fully disproven. We have theories about the interior of the planet. We don't know any of it for sure. Just like gravity. I know everyone wants to believe in gravity, and I believe in gravity. I mean, but it's still a theory. It's not a law. It's still a theory after all these years. So same thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we just assume. Yeah, we got, us three here have talked about this several times on your show. We know about 1% of what we think we know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was taught that if you got too far down, it was just hot lava, and now they're like, "Yeah, it's not true." So,
right?
How do you know?
well, his theory, and not say his theory, he was a tag along of a theory that already existed. Of course, he didn't invent it, but the structure he had in mind, that in his book he had an illustration, was a thinner crust. There is a molten layer, but then there's another thinner crust, and then a hollow space. So yeah, the density of the Earth would be less, of course, but we don't really. We assume we know the density of the Earth. We don't really know. Now they're saying there's two cores.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at some point they speculate that we got hit by another planet. Back when the Earth was forming, it got hit by Theia, which was another planet the size of Mars that was in the same orbit as Earth, and they eventually collided, and so we have two cores. I mean, where did this come from? All of a sudden we have two cores now. So I mean, we assume we know stuff, and we really don't.
Did you catch the little blurb? I think it was like 2 weeks ago. We have a second moon.
Yeah. Yeah, we do often, actually. If we capture something, I think the rule is if we capture something in orbit for longer than 2 or 3 days or whatever the time frame is, then it's considered a moon. But they almost always eventually fly off back into space. They don't stay long, and that's what this one is. I think they said it'll be, 20 years or something, and then it'll go back out into space.
Yeah. But that didn't make I would have thought that'd be like breaking news, on CNN. We've discovered we have two moons. And, there's a blurb. And
I think until we look up in the sky and see two moons, then it becomes important. If we can't see it, it's not important.
That's right. It's like 3-Eye Atlas. We can't see it. It's behind the sun. So yeah. I do every day the talk show, and I'll talk a little bit of history, and they'll talk about in this day in 1735 we got the first picture of the moon. I'm like, for Christ's sake, it's 2025. We can't get a picture of a comet. Come on, man.
Yeah, where's that high resolution photo of? Is it A3? What's the name of it officially?
3-Eye Atlas.
3-Eye Atlas. Okay, we'll never remember that name, but yeah, 3-Eye Atlas. Where's the high resolution photos of that?
Well, supposedly one was leaked, and I swear to God, it looks like a peanut in space.
A peanut.
I swear to God.
Are you guys familiar with the original Star Trek at all? The original 60s?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, there was an episode with the Planet Eater. It looked like a giant worm with a giant mouth in the front, made out of rock, that ate planets.
Yes.
And somebody put a meme on Facebook that I laughed. It said, "We finally have our first high resolution photo of the 3-Eye Atlas," and it was that. I said that would be our luck. Here comes the Planet Eater.
This is great. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Yeah. Like I said, we don't know what we don't know. Let's go to the bottom of the ocean before we go back to the moon.
No, you got a point. We know, the old saying, we know more about the moon than we do the ocean, bottom of the ocean. We don't know what's down there. It's hard to say.
Yeah. And it says, where's the picture from the Hubble?
You got a point. If we could take pictures of other planets with the dang thing, why can't we get a picture of this comet flying by?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
And it flew right over our Mars rover and turned its light on. It probably freaking honked. I don't know, but get a picture.
I mean, do you guys, Harley and Glenn, do you think if it came out tomorrow and it was announced that intelligent life exists and that we knew about it, it's been there, it's proven, and they're they're floating around watching us, do you think society would collapse like they say it would? Do you think it would just be catastrophic?
I think they've been watching us all along, like on The Simpsons, and they're laughing at us.
No, I mean, do you think human society would collapse with the knowledge that all of it's true?
I think a certain portion would, because
the ones who don't believe would.
No, I think they would be easier to convince than the diehard, I don't know how else the word is, but like Christian, theological, because they've been taught since infancy, that's it. And to suddenly realize, yeah, that's not it.
No, I mean, I believe that there's aliens. I believe that they possibly look just like me and you and hiding all along. And they are
could be
in the spaceship above Earth, just laughing at all the stupid shit we're doing.
Very likely.
Yeah. Well, we're starting to play with the big booms again, the nuclear stuff. And if you go back and look in history, when most of the UFO activity is surrounding that time period.
Right.
So,
yep.
Are we tempting fate here? We got a comment up there. We don't know what the hell it is, and we're just going to shoot off some stuff to rattle our sabers. So.
Yeah, let's tempt fate. Yeah. So fun.
But I think a certain portion of society would, yeah. And I think the others would be like, told you.
So. I think a vast majority, until they see something that really affects their immediate life, I don't think it wouldn't really affect them all that much, to be honest. I think that's a vast majority of society. And then there's the other parts, like you're saying. I'm sorry, what now?
I think they're also trying to condition with some of the stuff they release and the movies and stuff. I think they're trying to condition for the what if.
Oh yeah, there's that theory for sure. Another huge red flag, not red flag, but just an indicator, I guess. The Catholic Church, the Pope, how many years ago? Maybe was it 8 years ago? The Pope said, if aliens showed up tomorrow, it would not conflict with Christian doctrine. And in a way, I agree. I consider myself a Christian. I might not be the best example of one, but I think I do classify myself as a Christian. I'm no Bible scholar. I'll be the first to admit it, but I have read the Bible, and I don't remember seeing anywhere where it said there are absolutely no other beings anywhere else in the universe. I don't remember it saying that.
Mm-hmm. Now,
the Bible focuses on man on this planet and what we should be doing, but that doesn't mean that there isn't other people somewhere else. That's my take, and I'm sure a lot of people will be screaming and waving their sabers at me for it, but
they're going to do that anyhow, no matter what, especially when you're out there. One of the, and I will use a movie reference here, Transformers. One of the scenes that makes me think so much is there is Optimus Prime. He's this big robot, and they're in this top secret meeting, and they're all hoisted up to his level. They're still dwarfed by him. Mm-hmm. And one of the top general leans over and taps on somebody's shoulder, and he goes, if you believe in a God that created us, who created that? And it's like, yeah, yeah, I understand that. So, Wendell says, I believe they have been here from the start because people have seen them before religion was invented. Well, there's a new theory going around that because of a certain religion, I want to say Catholicism, but I'm not sure. They made up a time period that didn't exist so that it could conform to their knowledge. Now, technically, they're saying if you went and did mathematically, we should be in the 1700s because they made up this time period. And if you get deep on thinking about that, a lot of the stuff you go back to, Viking history, for instance, all spoken and transferred. A lot of the stuff was not documented, and when it was only documented by a few. So
This is true.
I'm not saying it's true, but
Well, look at the thematic similarities between the religions. I mean, yes, there are differences, but if you really boil it all down to its base common denominators, they're essentially all the same. I mean, they essentially have all the same ideas of good versus evil and where we should land on that spectrum. Now, they all differ in methods and who we should pray to and whatnot, but I mean, it's still the same basic philosophy, and I think that says a lot, you know.
No, I agree.
Wendell, you sure yell at us a lot on here.
Yeah, he's old. We overlook him. Well, have you got any more haunted or spooky stories for us? Since
No, not anything new. No, I am going to start. You asked me about dipping toes into other things. Most of my stories, except the first Western I just wrote, most of them have a supernatural bend to them, but it's subtle. It's never the overarching element in the story. But I think I'm going to start trying it. I think I'm going to get into some real honest to God supernatural paranormal stories and see where that takes me, because that is a fascination of mine.
Good. Put Bigfoot in there.
Oh yeah.
Before we let you get out of here, and you know, one of these days when Harley's sick, I need to just be able to get in touch with you and say, "Can you be my co-host?" Because it's like having a friend on the show when you're here.
Well, I'd love to. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Anytime. Let me know.
Okay, I can email.
This stuff's fun. This stuff is awesome for me. I love the. I like a lot of things, and the stuff we talk about is one of the ones on top of the list. It's fun to speculate.
And we may have a comic book artist one week and a psychic the next. I mean, we go so back and forth. So
jelly maker.
Yeah, we've had a
jelly maker. I tried being a jelly maker. The wife turned out good at it. I turned out to be horrible. So she's the jelly maker in the family.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Sportcat's about to go in business selling it, so I'm going to be pimping
nice.
It. So especially for our Australian audience, because we are really wanting to get our stuff in their hands. And I forgot to look what time it is over there, but we're like their morning early lunch show. Where can they find your stuff in Australia if they want to?
The best place to go is on the internet to thalsparr.com, THALSPARR.com. And that's the hub that'll take you to anything you want to know about me or the books, where to get the books. Right now, the website's a little plain because I made it, and I'm not really a web builder. Maybe 20 years ago I was, but technology has moved on past me at this point. But I do have I did contract a nice lady to redo my website for me in a more professional manner. So it will be a lot better very soon. But still, you can find anything you need to know about my work there. So that's the best.
And they are on Kindle.
And it probably won't be tonight. Tomorrow it will be in the show notes. I always trying to do that for the guests because I think it's important. We have a small but loyal audience and growing in Australia, and I still don't know why, but they like hearing us. They like it. We are pretty highly ranked over there, rated. So
nice.
Yeah.
They like our banter.
Yeah, well, I enjoy it. Well, if you ever watch our news show, good Lord, from 2 to 4 every day, Brenda and I, she's in the chat right now. We go back and forth, and you would swear it was like an old 80s morning zoo show. I mean, we cover the news, and then I get shiny, and I'm over here, and she's like reeling me in. So
that's what makes it fun, though.
There so I can cuss, so that works out.
There you go. That helps. A little inhibition. That's nice.
And you don't got to get our attention. We pay attention. Well, I pay attention at least.
We love our chat. So, well, man,
say that about Glenn, but I do.
We are up against a hard break now that we are on a station. We have to time it perfectly. So I'm gonna let you get out of here. Send me your information so we can text. That's probably the quickest way because I don't.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
I mean, if you don't care, I'll give you mine. So yeah, we can do that. And yeah, I would actually like to have you on as a host, and not to kicking Harley out or anything, but she occasionally has to work. I mean, she's got a life. I'm the only one that doesn't have a life. So yeah, we can make that happen. So
awesome.
Of course,
absolutely.
You can come back anytime, and if you want to talk about your book, Guard, just BS with us. So you're welcome. So.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here because, like I said, we're going to be up against a hard break. Thank you. Appreciate your time. And as always, we've enjoyed it. The chat's enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll get you some books sold in Australia.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Anybody, anywhere, I'm good for it. I just want to hear feedback.
There you go. Wendell says good night. So you know you've done it right if Wendell says good night. So there you go.
Thank you very much. And thank you for taking me back after I messed up the last time.
It happened, dude. I didn't think twice about it. It happened. So, all right, man. Have a great night. We will see you soon.
All right. Take it easy, you two. Thank you.
Bye. Well, Harley, that was a great show. And I got to pay some bills here real quick. Want to make sure to thank WRFN, Radio Free Nashville, for allowing us to be on their airwaves. We will soon be on the Sunday spot there. So check that out. I'll give you times and dates if you want. It's a replay of this show. Of course, you can come over to YouTube and find us under the Sportcat shows and catch us here. So, Harley, you got anything going on before we get out of here?
Well, I've postponed this for a couple weeks because of everything going on. Well, Sunday night at 9 Eastern, we are doing the last meals for death row inmates of 2024 and 2025.
Oh, there you go. All right. And you can catch that over here on the Sportcat shows as well on YouTube. That will not be on Dare Talk Radio. So everybody, you can catch me tomorrow if you're interested on the Thin Line Rock Station. I'm a jock there from Tuesdays and Thursdays from noon till 2. And of course, I will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock to do the Sportcat Daily Gazette, where we have, we'll just talk about the news, and Brenda will keep me from getting in trouble.
Oh, I'm off work tomorrow. I'll be able to watch that one.
Come on in. All right. Harley, everybody, have a great night. We appreciate our listeners from Dare Talk Radio in Australia. Please come over and find us under the Sportcat shows. I think you'll like us over here. Plus, we got a great chat. So, everybody, have a great night. We will talk to you and see you soon.
Bye.
Go.